Okay, we're gonna get started with the Carriage Trails meeting here.
Abi mikrofon video var ha. Onda eşitlemeyi şimdi. Anladın mı? İkisi bir yerde olsun abi. Abi o mikrofon.
You can just keep, yeah, just put it wherever.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming.
You use that mic.
Use this one. Thank you everyone for coming. I want to thank our neighbors who are hosting us as well as our neighbors that are coming to learn more about the rest of our community. I hope we have a great discussion tonight. Please ask any questions that you have, and I'm sure that Byron will be more than happy to answer. Okay, it's really, you get to know each other, have an open conversation about some of the difficulties and what some solutions could be. And hopefully we can have these again in the future and have even more of our neighbors out. Remember, there are some refreshments over here. Feel free to get up whenever and get something if you like. Okay, thanks again for coming.
Think you nailed it. So yeah, you guys want to say anything right now before we get going?
Yes.
Okay.
We have some elderlies. First of all, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Like my friend Walter said, and we really appreciate see you guys here and trying to do better for our community, as a neighbors living in same streets. And I wanna do in my language right now, okay? Assalamu alaikum aziz cemaat, hoş gelmişiz. Şimdi programı başlayacağız. Sorular olacak. Vaproslar kiminki, vaprosları ki var, vaprosları verebilirsiniz. Zaten çok kimse yoktu. Bu birinci keredir. Bundan sonra da gene planirovka ediyoruz böyle bir şeyler etmeye. Grupayla yani herkesinle beraber. Arada yemeklerimiz vardır. Eğer almayı isteseniz buyurun. Kısaca manakladığım programı ne olacak? Zaten kağıtda yazılıdır da gene kısaca manakladığım. Biz kimiz? Nereden buraya geldik? Nasıl geldik? Ne işler görüyoruz? Ve bizim köyümüzdeki olan sıkıntılarımızı burada söyleyeceğiz. Yani çocuklarımız ile, gelirsin yani bizim kültürümüz ile, gelirsin yani maşinaların tez gezmesiyle, yine de kimin hakkındaki gene ne ki suallar ki vardır, o sualları yani kullanıp diyebilirsiniz. Biz de elimizden geldiği kadar onlara cevaplamaya çalışıyoruz inşallah. Mikrofonu ben İbrahim'e vereceğim. İbrahim İngilizce güzel söylüyor benden daha iyi. O böyle zaman devam edecek bundan sonra. Tamam, Allah razı olsun. Thank you guys. I will give a microphone to my cousin Ibrahim. He's also a member of Carriage Trails, and he's very familiar with our community and our neighborhood, and he's also have a Facebook page, so he's very familiar what's going on in our neighborhood. So I will give a microphone to him, and he will start. Thank you.
Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Abraham. Thanks for coming out and spending your evening with us today. So this is a great program that was brought to our attention by Byron. This is a great idea, and we wanted to address this publicly for everybody so we can share our feelings and thoughts about what's going on in the neighborhood and what's being posted and commented. So we get a lot of postings when it comes to addressing the child safety and concerns. So I think the biggest issue there is with not having any place for them to play and a playground. So that is a huge missing part of our community, and I think that can resolve a lot of those posts not being posted where you see kids riding their bicycles or scooters on the road. I mean, sometimes there's no way you can avoid that because people do park on their driveway and block the sidewalk, so you technically have to get on the road in order to pass through. So that's something we can't avoid. And as you know, we do have a lot of family members, and we like to have kids, so each of our families, they have about 5 kids minimum. So that's why that's our biggest concern in the neighborhood, and I do worry about their safety. So I think instead of, posting stuff like that publicly on social media to raise a concern about it, we can resolve it by speaking to your neighbor or finding out who the parent is, because that is not something very serious to be, posted publicly to accuse kids of doing stuff where they don't have an alternative or any other opportunity to do so. So,
Ibrahim, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you out. You want to say how we came to United States? You want to start with that, maybe?
yeah, so our journey to United States, it started in 2005, where only a handful of us were migrated to USA, and we were given the opportunity to pick the states we wanted to go to. So, and many of you already might know about our past and where we come from and what we have faced. We have faced very tragic times in the past, not looking back towards, and we want a brighter future for us and for our kids and everybody else around us. So, we came from very hard times where we realized how important it is to keep good relationship with your neighbors. And especially our culture states that neighbor next door to your house, it's a lot closer than your sibling that lives on the other state or the city. So we really value that, and that's the way we like to live. And I'm sure many of you had neighbors like that was kind and nice to you. And so we came here with nothing, with our bags and a big hope. So, and we worked hard to get where we are right now, and thanks God and the opportunity we have given here, it helped us to improve and become what we are now. From moving forward, we want to grow as a whole community. So we want to keep the good relationship and kind of explain who we are and where we come from and our religion. So if you guys have any questions about our past or who we are, then I can more than welcome to answer that. Byron will, but if you guys don't have any questions, we can move forward.
Anybody have any questions about where our neighbors are originally from, what brought them to the United States?
Yeah, there you go.
Ibrahim, you continue and explain the 1944, 1989.
Okay. So, yeah, this was a long story that I didn't want to get into and take your time, but so originally we were deported from our homeland in 1944. Okay, and we were put on cargo trains to set to death, pretty much. But luckily, there was survivors, which is our grandparents, that we came from. So we got deported and we got stopped in Uzbekistan, and that's where a majority of our people that's where they lived. And once again in the history, they got deported again from Uzbekistan because we were not given any rights. We were just there as a black worker, I would say, that do other jobs without, besides that, citizenship of the country. So, and we were deported from there in 1989 again. So at that time, that's where a majority of our people got spread out the world. Right now, we live in 9 different countries, and Russia was the biggest one. Well, although in Russia, lately in 2000s, there were a lot of discrimination and killing going on, and they did not register us as citizens, and we were always given a hard time. So in 2000, between 2004 and 5, there was this program that opened up migrating people to the U.S. So that's how we end up coming here. That's the quick pass.
I think one thing that might be interesting is actually where your ancestors originated, which, if I remember right, is in present-day Georgia.
Yes.
So that's where their ancestry came from, was present-day Georgia, which at that time was part of Turkey, and that's when they were deported. Okay. Was everyone ever able to hear me okay? Okay. So I think that's interesting also, just to know, what part of the world we're talking about. And then, as he said, they got put on trains. They had a lot of death as they were going to Uzbekistan, and lived there for years before basically being moved again to Russia, and then having the opportunity for some of them to come to the United States. So, and even once you came to the United States, you were spread across the country, correct? Yes. So then family starts coming a little closer together.
I'm sorry, I want to add a few things. Ibrahim is a very good speaker. As you recognize, his English is a little bit better than mine. So I want to, is, very excited in missing some unique history about our community. So in 1944, in November 14, we was deported from our homeland, like he mentioned. That's right now, it's called Georgia. And before it was our lands. Our lands was, we are from, our grandparents are from Ottoman Empire, okay? And when the border are, crossed from Soviet Union, and we left, we stand in Soviet Union side. So when they check the border. And that time, World War II, 1944, by Stalin, we was deported to nowhere without of any notice, without of any notice or anything. They just deport us. We couldn't, our grandparents couldn't take anything with them, anything, just little bags. They didn't know where they're going. They don't know what's going to happen, how long it's going to take for. Without, like I said, without of any mention, they just deport us in a few nights. Our elder is talking about numbers like 100,000 people was deported, and about 20,000 people died during the transit because of cold weather, because it's hungerness, because it's sick. And I'm sorry, it was like animal wagons. I mean, it's not like today animal wagons, back in 1944, just imagine. It was a terrible trip. And 5-6 families was in one wagon with the ladies, kids, and elders. Because young men was at the war against Germany on Russian side and Soviet Union side. So a lot of elderly passed away because they couldn't survive. It was cold, and then we came. The train was transit like 30 days in transit, and when the train finally stopped in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan, and they start living from a new page, and building and everything, because they came here without of nothing, absolutely nothing, no money, anything. And they just start working there, and we lived there for 45 years. And after 45 years, 1989, from Uzbekistan start civil war between neighbors, and it got in a big fight. And 61 or 63 people from our community was died in that fight. It was burning houses. I mean, it was tragically time. And they have to run. When they run here south to Russia, like Krasnodar area, Sochi, you know, Sochi, Krasnodar, Rostov area, majority. And we start living there again, start again from new page. And we lived there about 17 years. And Russian was calling us always. I mean, we was there like third degree person, you know. We was struggling there. We was having problem with the documents, with the citizens, with the police, with the government, every time, everywhere. Even at the school, we was fighting, streets fighting. I mean, it was terrible time. The 17 years was terrible time. And then government start telling us, hey, move back. This is not your homeland. This is not place you're supposed to be. I mean, you gotta go. And then thanks United States, somebody somehow hear about our community history and take this case closely, seriously, and plus our elderlies, you know, was begging our country, different countries, you know, to be get help. And finally, there is a organization called MOM, MIMOM, migration organization something. And they took us here, they educated, they took us here, they pay our airplane tickets, and we have some volunteers who take care of us here with the documents, you know, social security, this and that. Other than that, they give us some time to pay this money back to the government. Airplane tickets, as documents, you know, we was getting money for the housing because we wasn't working in the language barrier, it was hard time. So basically this is third time starting from new page. And thanks for United States, and because we are here today, and everything what we have right now, thanks for United States and citizen of United States. So this is a lot longer. I make small much as I can. And right now I want to give a microphone back to Ibrahim so that way he can continue. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. So moving on to road safety in our neighborhood, which is the biggest concern. I mean, it bothers me a lot myself. My house is on Silver Linden and facing back to that Carriage Trails Road, and every night I hear fireworks, you know, and those, go ahead.
Go back to the child safety concern, talking about how much I would just like to say that we have talked to the developers about, sorry.
I'm gonna go over here with this too.
So you were talking about how there's nothing for the kids to do in Carriage Trails, and one of the things that we have tried to do is go to the developers and say, hey, there's nothing in our MOA for the kids to do. Like, you guys have put nothing there. There's no soccer fields, there's no parks, there's zilch, nada. And they basically told us that we don't intend to do that. First of all, your fees would go up. And okay, fine, you know, our fees would go up, but the kids would have something to do. There's zero, and they're like, nope. And we called a community meeting at one point. Mm-hmm. And Cindy, how many people showed up? It's really difficult to fight with those developers if no one shows up to say, hey, we need these things. We want these things. So one of the things that you guys could help us with, because like you said, you guys have a lot of kids. You have a lot of skin in this game, is to show up at some of those meetings and say, hey, we do want those things. we need those things because it would make a huge, I'm a former educator. I know what kids do when they don't have anything to, like, there were two boys that I befriended in front of my house one evening because they were throwing rocks at one of those light posts in the street, And I looked out my front window and I was like, what are they doing? They're like 9, 10 years old. And I went out the front door and they looked at me like, oh no, God. And I just walked across the street. I have my dog in my hand, right? She's how I make friends with everyone. And I walked across the street and I said, hey. They were like, hey. I said, what are your names? And one of them just looked at me like, I'm not telling you my name. The other one was like, Zandir. And I was like, hey, so I know you guys don't have anything to do around here, but that's probably not a good choice, right? So since then, I'll tell you that those two boys, twins, by the way, anybody know who I'm talking about? Zandir and no? They stop by my house on a regular basis and say, hey to my dog, what's up? Not me, but the dog, But yeah, I totally agree with you guys. But I think one of the things that you all have to do to help us out on our side of the table is whenever we are fighting with the developers, because I love a good fight with those guys, is show up and help me fight with them, if you can do that for us.
Definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. This was a very good thought about our kids, and our kids is our future. So
Tell you were telling us earlier about how you actually were trying to do that too. But I think there's just a disconnect. You were trying it, they were trying it
In different ways.
but if we all come together,
I was going to mention it. Yes. Thank you. So we was talking earlier about our kids get park and playgrounds, pool, something like this. And there is when you enter to the carriage trail from Old Troy Pike, before you hit first circle, there is a left turn to the neighborhood. Meadowview, yes, thank you. Meadowview, and there is a pond and big grass space, and that's been owned by city of Heber Heights. And me with my kids, we start collecting signatures, and we was very success of those signatures. I collect about 200 signatures, and I take that to the city and talk to the mayor Gove, and I explain him, hey, this and that, we need parks for our kids in our neighborhood. And he didn't tell me no, that in the process, that job in the process, but I have to just follow up with him, how long it's gonna take, what's going on, because I tell him I don't wanna do just 2 spices with the 1 swing gear or something. We need something big because our community is still growing. So on answer to your question, with the HOA or City Hall, like Josh mentioned, if we can get together, we can be more people in those meetings and we can address our issue like strongly to them. So that way we can, impact them in this matter.
I have a notebook full of stuff, so we should definitely talk, especially about that.
Okay, no problem.
I think that's one of the this meeting too is to address that kind of stuff too, right? Like let's all come together as a community.
Because I had no idea that you had been doing that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have no clue unless you went to the city meeting and they might have maybe brought it up or something, which they probably wouldn't.
My multiple pieces of property that the city owns, and we've talked about, I've written grants, so like I would love nothing more than to write a grant just for us to be able to have things in Carriage Trails, like I would love nothing more than to write a grant and fund it that way. And it's really difficult for the city to say no if they don't have to pay for it. And it's really hard for the developer to say no if it's not their property.
Can you explain what a grant is, just in case?
A grant is money that comes from a source other than the city, or it's like free money that's out there. Sometimes a different entity has it. It may come from the federal government, probably not at this point. It may come from the government, it may come from the state, but a grant is basically like free money that's set aside specifically for certain things. And a lot of times there's grant money available for community things that are out there. So that might be an option. I don't know yet. But yeah, I think that things like this are definitely a possibility, and I wish I would have known you were doing this. So.
Yeah, and I've been with Sheena also. My name is Cindy Schwartz, and I sometimes have a big mouth on Facebook. But especially when it comes to the developer in the city and wanting more for our community. You had discussed that you had talked to the city about the city-owned property that's off of Meadowview. There are several other areas that we could definitely.
Houses are very, very tiny, you know, and you can get it close.
Yes.
And we have bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you're fine. But we've also had many talks with the developer. I've talked to Bill Kiefler many times. I've talked to Ken Conaway, so she, and both of them were flat out 100% not interested in doing any type of like playgrounds or anything that they would have to pretty much be in charge of. We've had a lot of pushback with them. We've went rounds with them over it. So I'm really hoping that we all can get together and try to push on the city to do something.
I think
That's the pushback that we hear is liability, insurance, and who's going to maintain it. That's why that was their excuse. That's why they don't want to do it. That's what I've been told, so.
you also have a lot of residents who, they're split. Half of our residents do not want any of those amenities because in the future they will come with higher fees to do the upkeep. Therefore, if we actually go after the city and push on the city to do this instead, the pool of money comes from a wider source, and those individuals in the community, our little community, don't have as much to complain about. Now, there's always the concern about defacing property and stuff like that's going to, no matter where you put up a playground, this stuff's going to happen. We have to deal with it. But my thought is go for the city, push the city, write grants, all these different things to try to do it on our own.
Correct.
And get the city to donate the property.
Correct.
He's gonna get his steps in. Is there another microphone?
The other pushback that we get is that we're Carriage Trails and then it's Huber Heights. And if we have something in Carriage Trails, we have to allow Huber Heights. And the people in Carriage Trails don't want people from Huber Heights in, like we're elitist or something. I know, but that's the thing. That's like when we try talking about the community garden, because we would have to allow people from Huber Heights in, because we are Huber Heights, and people were pushing back. They didn't want people from Huber Heights in Carriage Trails. We are Huber Heights, we have, we need to expand to the whole city, not just us.
People's gonna come anyway, It's just something.
This is like we mentioned earlier, this is our biggest concern with our kids. And especially, it's still growing. I mean, I know it's gonna build up there 1,400 houses plus, and they are thinking to do a school, like elementary school, end of 40, like Brain Pike and 40 there. So this is like a little bit a longer project, but it's gonna happen. I mean, it's already past 10 years since I'm in Carriage Trails. So it's passed really quick. And yes, this is gonna be a very good idea. And almost everybody from our community are in same thoughts, just like you guys. Thank you very much for doing this and begging the city to get some safe places like playground, park, or some time to spend safely with the kids, because our neighborhood is too big and is still growing. There is many smaller, developments, like neighborhoods than our neighborhood, but they have, parks, gym, I would say a pool, I would say a soccer field or anything. We need something like that for our kids. And we need not only one, we need two, like one in this side, one on another side. So that way we're gonna reduce our kids, playing in the streets, running around, kicking a ball to the neighbor's backyard. We will avoid all of these issues. And I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, your name is Sheena. Yes. Thank you to educate those kids when you see they doing something wrong. I do myself, and I know many of our people doing same thing. When we see kids doing something wrong, we like to educate them. Hey, look, this is not right. I mean, don't do this again. If you're gonna do it, example, if they playing a soccer and a ball flew to a neighbor's backyard and he just run to get the ball, and neighbors, there is mad neighbor or something, or bad day, take a picture, post it in the Facebook, and the comments are growing. And me as a parent, I don't have a Facebook page, and that person didn't inform the child, hey, you did something wrong, and I didn't know, and child didn't know, and this is from spider making an elephant. This is big thing. If that neighbor gonna call the kids just like you did, Sheena, hey, look, this, whatever you did, this is wrong. Okay, you playing, I understand the ball can flew to my backyard, but next time, knock on the door, call me and ask me permission, so that way you can get your ball. Or took the kids, tell them, hey, show me your house, and call some elderlies or parents, so I can, you can talk to the elderlies and telling them, hey, your kid just did this. Not only a ball in the background, many other issues as well, just telling them, explaining them, hey, this is not right. This is gonna help us to grow our kids more safely and educatedly, because they are our futures. They are our futures who's coming after us. Yes.
I would tell you that the quickest way to get those kids to respect you and have a conversation with you is to know that you will talk to their parents and that you are not scared of their parents. To know that you are friends with their parents, that you talk to them, that you walk next door, and that you have a conversation with them, and they know that you're looking out for them. They look out. And they know, they mind, especially when their dads are out at work. They know that you're going to tell their mom and they're going to be in trouble. Also, when school kicks back up, we see a lot of an increase of things that are being said to kids, and like the verbal bullying. And I just want to say to anybody that is watching this that a lot of times that our Turkish neighbors' kids, they don't know what their families have gone through in the process of coming over here. So a lot of the things that they're repeating things that are said to them on the bus and things that they're said to them in school, and they are repeating it back to people. If you have conversations with those parents, it allows a parent to have a conversation with the kids of, hey, you know, this is how our families were treated before we came here. This is what we went through. And this is why we treat people the way that we do. This is why we're respectful of our neighbors. And this is why we are neighborly and why we are not like this. So it gives their kids a better understanding, because a lot of times when kids are between the ages of 8, 10, and 12, these parents haven't had the conversations with their kids of what they went through to come over here. So sometimes we don't realize that, you know, we get angry over things that, you know, because it's our kids. And I get that, but we also have to understand that, you know, a lot of times that these kids are regurgitating what they've been told by other kids, and that they may not understand the full gravity of what they're doing until there's a conversation had.
Yes, this is very good point. I was thinking to bring this up again, especially in school summer break. All the kids are outside, you know. I mean, pretty much we are in same page. We just need to push it through to the city or HOA or the development to help this in this manner. I think if we can get together as a neighbor, as a community, and we can be strong, and we can just make this happen quickly. And I think our next.
We do have another mic. You don't have to keep going. You
Oh,
can leave
yeah,
that
they
over
don't-
there.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to say one of the other things that I do with kids is I notice when they're passing by the house, they don't want to make eye contact. They want to try to sneak by. So I think they're just afraid every single adult is going to yell at them every time. That's all they hear from adults is just, you're in trouble. What are you doing? Where are your parents? So I've just started saying hi and asking them if they want to drink water or something. And I've actually started getting a couple little waves now, and it's nice that they're not afraid of me. So I think if the community just does that, like everybody looks out for the kids if they're out on the street. I want to make sure they're okay. They're not my kids, but I'm not going to yell at them. I just want them to be safe. So I think a lot of people could do that. It's easy, you know. So. Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed a lot on Facebook mainly is, and I have these questions too, is that sometimes when there are parents that can see, you know, a kid acting out or whatever, and they are part of the Turkish community, we sometimes don't know if it's appropriate to go to your door, to speak with, you know, the man of the house while I'm a woman, or if we just talk to the women. I know that I asked Josh about this, he asked you. Because a lot of us, like me, we don't want to be disrespectful to your culture and overstep our bounds. So that comes into play sometimes when we do see kids that could be acting up. Like I know for me, I've never had to really yell at a kid except for one time, and it was a white kid trying to start fights with some other kids. But other than that, I get afraid to say stuff sometimes because I don't know what's too much. And we live in a society now to where either people will go out there and act all crazy on some kids and take some pictures or whatever, or they won't say anything and they won't do anything, and then stuff just escalates, and then here they get on Facebook and they're like, oh yeah, we've seen this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah, blah. like later on after stuff has already happened. So a full understanding of a proper way to handle any type of situations. I know that Sheena said that she, hey, don't do that. Let's do this. I've done that at the pond that's behind my house, with kids trying to kick some geese and stuff. And I was like, hey, and there was a boy who was like, sorry, man. And so I went out there and I told him, I said, thank you. You were very respectful to me and I really appreciate that. And like, just a really nice kid. But if we could have some way of knowing exactly like what to do in these situations, that would really help.
Yes, thank you. When Josh texted me your question, I was thinking right away, I mean, we are living already here in United States 20 years. So basically, I mean, we've been living in many countries and plus here in our background, where we came from in our culture, like Ibrahim mentioned at the front of the meeting, our closest neighbor, it's a lot closer than my brother living different city. Because when something happen, my neighbor gonna check on me first. Ambulance, fires, or with the kids or anything, or some panic, or some yelling, or something. The neighbor has to check on neighbor. So don't be afraid. Go to the neighbor, knock in the door, and tell them everything what you wanna say. Even you wanna invite to something, or I mean, don't be afraid. Just act normal, like you acting with your friend, brother, cousins. Just be normal. Come knock in the door. Whatever who's gonna open the door, try to talk to them. If they have some language barrier, ask maybe someone else can, someone else at home, or come maybe another time. But express yourself and explain yourself and with the issue, so that way we are get together. This is our key that's separating us. You guys are afraid to come and knock on the door to us. We are afraid come knock on the door to you guys because we didn't see that here in United States. The neighbors are not that close to each other like it's supposed to be. I'm sorry, don't get me wrong. Neighbors are snitching on each other. And instead of hiding their problems, helping on their problems, helping in the background, even if I'm working in the background or in front yard or doing something, just, hey neighbor, how you doing? What you doing? Do you need any help? Maybe he need a hammer, maybe he need a screwdriver, or he need some, nail or something. I mean, just try to talk to the neighbor. I remember back in the days when I was a kid, we was, living in our house without locking the door or anything, and going to the grocery store or just walking in the streets. I mean, that's all about the neighbors have to be get closer to each other and connect each other. Because I mean, you are closest person to me. You are the closest person to me. I mean, who else can help? Police, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Fire extinguisher, same thing. Ambulance, same thing. But you are the closest person to me. I mean, we gotta break this barrier and break this, barrier and make bridges to our neighborhood. So that way we can get stronger and understand each other. We have a lot of culture and a lot of events going on in our houses. When we do something, cook something, we always share with our neighbors. Some of them do, some of them don't, because some of them, they don't know even neighbor's name. They're living for many, many years and they don't know even neighbor's name. I mean, this is very bad. We need to break this barrier and start building the bridges between neighbors and the kids. Yeah. That was a great question. And don't be scared. Exactly.
We moved here about 6 years ago, and this is the most diverse neighborhood I've ever lived in, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And when we first moved in, we would wave at people, and I felt like they weren't waving back. I didn't know if they were afraid, but hearing, and I heard it once before, about how you came to this country, how you were relocated multiple times. I understand that you have reason to be leery of strangers. And I knew a woman who moved to Turkey, and she's a Facebook friend of mine, and I messaged her and I said, hey, Linda, there's a lot of Turkish people in my neighborhood, and when I wave, they don't wave back. And she said to me, keep waving, just keep waving. And we did, and now you wave back. The only time I've ever intervened with any children is for their safety, okay? I might not come to you and tell you, but I might stop them from going into the pond or crossing the street to get a ball without looking both ways. Yeah, that I will do. It takes a village. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciated your support. And I think what Byron wanted to say, just wanted to add that in there. We lived there for past 20 years now, and we do share the same culture. We just have a different religion, but the culture is the same. We greet everybody, and pretty much you want to treat everyone the same as you want to be treated. So that, for your concern, don't worry about it. You can always go and address your concerns to your neighbors, and if it's either male or female. So.
Driving, let's go move to driving.
So moving on, road safety in our neighborhood. So that is the biggest concern we have. And I'm glad, actually, I want to say this, for the people who will be watching, that we came to the conclusion that we do need a playground for our kids. And it sounds like you guys were already trying to get that done, and sounds like Byron was working on it as well. Now, hopefully, we can get all together, and this could be one of the projects we as a community all together in Carriage Trails can accomplish and make it happen for our kids, you know. So I hope this continues, Josh.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
And moving on to the road safety, I mean, you know, I honestly, I have no idea how we can avoid this, you know. A lot of people, you cannot control everybody. And I mean, we had a lot of officers patrol the Carriage Trails, which I wouldn't want them to do so, but you know, at this point, I don't know how we can resolve that. This is open for a discussion. If you guys have any ideas, we definitely condemn them, and we don't appreciate how they drive. And this is not something in our culture, and it has nothing to do with our ethnicity. So it's just those some reckless drivers that choose to, you know, go the full speed of their cars, which is not acceptable. And we would like to resolve this any ways possible. And if you ever see them speeding, I mean, they do that a lot. I think it would be better to take a picture instead of posting on Carriage Trails. We directly send it to the Huber Heights PD and let them take care of it, do investigation, catch them one way or the other so we can avoid it. I think that can be resolved that way. But if you guys have any other ideas.
Yeah,
go ahead.
so I know you had just mentioned speed bumps, and it has been brought up to the city, I believe, several times, if I'm not mistaken. and they don't want to do it. I don't know yeah, I know it does present a challenge for the snow plows in the winter.
Yeah, they said it's blocking the equipment
Right
at the
there.
winter time.
Can you speak in your microphone? Sir?
They don't have to be a permanent fixture though. That's the thing. There's big pillars that go.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen the ones too that are like temporary.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just an issue of them not wanting to do it.
And that would be another thing, add that to the playground list, right? I mean, if there's numbers. I know a couple people.
I mean, yes. Just like Josh mentioned, I talked to Mayor Gore about the speeding, and he told me all the complaints from the Carriage Trail community being speedy BMWs. I mean, we talked with police department. We're talking with our elderly all the time, and we worry about this much as everybody, like same as you guys, because I have kids. Some families don't have kids, but I do have kids. And like we mentioned earlier, our streets are very tiny, and they're driving a scooter, skiing, a bicycle, anything. They playing outside, they can just run to the street very quick, then you can even stop your car. And especially in these days, we all driving with the telephone, with the cell phone in our hands. Yes, so this is a biggest, one of our biggest concern in Carriage Trail after kids playing outside. So if we can, I don't know, like speedy bumps, they said it's blocking the equipment, like snow power. They broken the equipment. Okay, some cameras, I don't know, speed cameras with the tickets, with the photos. I mean, something. I mean, everything we thought that can be helped to reduce that speeding. It didn't work.
The reason that I say it's a city problem and not, I'm sorry. The reason that I say it's a negligence issue at the city and not just a speed problem is because that's not the only issue. We've brought up issues with school buses, like when the school buses are coming through the streets when school is in session. Like that is a huge issue on the streets during 9 months out of the year. And the city doesn't want to help us deal with that either. Bethel doesn't want to help us deal with that. It's anything to do with the streets, like, and slightly possibly dangerous situations. That is the streetlights though, that's a HOA situation.
The front of my house don't work. The light, it's always off.
So the HOA lights got taken care of though, right? So, I mean, there are a ton of issues surrounding road things within carriage trails that have been brought up multiple times. And anything that the city should be responsible for is always difficult. And I think it's just a city problem.
We can't just blame the people in the community or the young people driving too fast. The parkway, people travel on the parkway cutting through from 201 to 202. It's not just carriage trails people. So I think that sometimes the blame gets put onto some of the youth in the Turkish community. It's not all that. There's people from Huber that cut through on the parkway. So the blame should not fall on a certain group of people.
You guys wanna say anything? Any thoughts, any questions, any ideas?
Come on, Sam.
So I'll add in a couple things real quick. One thing on the speed bumps, one concern about the speed bumps, I don't care so much about the equipment. The equipment is a concern that it damages equipment. However, the bigger concern is when a speeding car hits a speed bump, it now becomes a serious safety issue. Correct.
Not if you're not, I mean, it's your problem if you're, don't get me started.
Right, well, but it's the kid that's on the sidewalk's problem now, because, that's what I look at as speed bumps, so I don't love speed bumps. One thing that I could talk about as far as the parking situation though, and how to widen the streets. So the city, actually Katie is from, they had a thing where on even in odd days, you parked on a separate side of the street. And so one side of the street was always clear, making a wider street. So on even days of the week, you parked on the even side of the street. And on odd days, you parked on the odd side of the street. And now a lot of residents would not like that, but that would allow school buses through, that would allow large trucks through, that would eliminate some of the blind spots for children and for people driving. So that's something I would be all for, is parking on only one side of the street.
Hey, can you suggest it? Because I think they might listen to you.
I talked to Jeffries when he was on the plane, and he said, well, hell no.
What a stupid idea, Cindy.
Yeah, so we know of an actual example in a large city, actually a suburb of a large city, so kind of similar to Huber Heights, the Dayton, and we can use that as an example. But yeah, I think it's important to bring any of these types of ideas forward and see what some of the resolution could be.
I think it's just a numbers game.
Right.
It's just a
And
community.
then people need to show up
Yes.
and voice their opinions and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
Thank you very much. That's a great idea to park on one side of the street. I mean, that's the least we can do. And we must do it because that is a big concern. It's a safety hazard for our kids. As you know, they play around there. So any other ideas on safety of our neighborhood? There's a lot of thefts going on as well. So make sure you lock your cars, keep your car keys inside and all that good stuff.
Valuables inside, not in the car.
Yeah, valuables inside, not in the car. And also another safety hazard that's brought to my attention a few times, that, for example, my neighbor's rabbit was eaten to death. I mean, it was not eaten, it was killed by another dog, which he caught on the camera. And I mean, and I've seen a lot of other posts about dogs being unleashed and nobody knows the owner. So, I mean, there are kids playing outside. I was once bitten by a dog and I know how that is. So, I mean, it would be really nice to keep those secured as well. That would be really great. So moving on to sharing our traditions. So this is another post that we get mainly. So we have our cultural events like weddings. So let's say if there's a wedding going on in my house, there's going to be almost 1 week. I'm going to have all of my family members, all from all over the United States, at my house. They're in there cooking, preparing for the wedding. I have a lot of visitors. They're just going to be at my house. And, you know, that kind of fills up the streets. And unfortunately, we cannot control all of them. There's so many cars that do come, and sometimes they do park at the neighbor's driveway maybe, and if they parked it on the sidewalk, they might have stepped on your grass, you know, accidentally. But stuff like that do happen, and it would be nice to just to address it personally to the person instead of posting it publicly. Not to raise a bigger concern about, you know, having good neighbors, whatnot. But I'm sure any house that has an event going on, if you go and find anybody there, they will find the owner and they will get that taken care of. If the car needs to be moved, they will definitely do that and they will not argue with you. So, so we have the weddings, and then I mean, keep it far away from here, but you know, we have our deaths too. When somebody passes away, that also where a lot of our family members and neighbors, they come and visit our homes. So that's when you will also see a lot of cars parked in front of our house, any of the Turkish families' houses. And also other holidays, birthdays, just being a big family, you have a lot of cars. That's pretty much it. But you guys definitely are invited. If we have a gathering, wedding, don't hesitate to stop by, say hi, and you'll be more than welcomed to even come to our weddings. We could pass that around if you guys interested, and also just to come and join the party. And you guys will be welcomed warmly. So, and another thing, like Byron mentioned earlier, we really do value where it says, your neighbor is closer than your closest sibling that lives far away from you. So, and sometimes, when we cook food at home, and you could smell it probably from the outside, and it's in our religion to pass that food, to share it with your loved ones, which is also your neighbors, So you cook, let's say, 10 plates of food, you give one plate to your neighbor, and then the other one, and then you eat the rest. So, but some neighbors might not get that gesture because the only reason, because I thought about it myself, I wouldn't know how would they accept it. I don't know if that would be okay. I don't know if I cook food, make barbecue, and bring it to you, and then I don't know if you're gonna throw it into trash or you're gonna eat it, enjoy, Mine-
Your ladies are wonderful cooks.
Oh yeah, our Turkish ladies, they are wonderful cooks. Thanks to them, we're so extra weighted. But if that's okay, then you guys will be getting more food. Have it shared with us. So that's about our holidays and weddings. So if you guys have any questions about that as well, we'll definitely answer.
I want to add something on wedding. Of course, this is not on a birthday or funeral or any other events, but this is the plan on specifically on weddings. They with Walter, when we sit down planning about this meeting, and we come to a great idea with Walter to do like a letter invitation. So I'm doing a wedding, let's say 1 week after this, let's say next weekend. We have a PDF form, with writing my name, my address, what day I'm gonna have a wedding, where, what time, and you involved.
Invited.
You invited to that wedding. Please come. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it in your mailbox. When you're gonna open your mailbox, you will see it. You're gonna read it through. Please come. Basically, most of our weddings happening here or some other places. And same thing to Ibrahim mentioned. It's gonna be many cars and it's gonna be loud, and it's gonna be late in the evening and it's gonna be loud. Just think wedding happening like in 20, 25 years one time. They wanna do a party, and we really appreciate for your understanding when we are loud. Bang bang bang. Music and everything, and please excuse us, but please enjoy it. Please come and let's share our happiness together as a neighbors, as a community. Let's share our happiness together, so that will be even more connected. And like he mentioned, a car's gonna be block your driveway or step on your grass or something. Don't call towing or anything. The address, or basically you will understand in which house this event's going on. Just knock on the door saying, hey, can you please move that car? It's on my way or something. We will take care of it. Thank you very much.
many of us have small driveways, right? Driveways and carriage trails are not very large. However, if you are one of those who do not use your driveway, or you have expanded your driveway, consider allowing your neighbor to park in it when they have these events. We let them do that, and I think it really helped a lot, helped people get closer to the residents, where they were going and everything. So just consider that. And then they're not blocking your driveway.
Thank you so much. So that explains our weddings and holidays and the parties. And when he say loud, it's really loud. We do set up the same system here, so we could turn the music after the meeting is over and you can see how loud it gets. But moving on to the culture exchange. So if you guys have anything to share with us, please do so we'll learn more about you and different cultures, so that way we can address you properly. Question?
Back to the holidays and celebrations a little bit. I don't know what your religion is and what any kind of holidays you don't celebrate. Like, we celebrate Christmas. Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you celebrate Halloween? I have a lady who lives on my street who's from originally Russian, and whenever I've said, your kids come for trick or treat, she said no. So are there certain holidays that we should not?
So our religion is a Muslim religion, Islam, and we do have 2 holidays in the year, which is Ramadan and Eid. But they are two months apart from each other. And those are the only 2 holidays. You might see a lot of Turkish people dressed nice, walking in the neighborhood, going in house, so that's when we just, after the prayer, we're going greet each other and wish a good day. Other than that, we do respect all of the other traditions and holidays you have, and at the same time, it's like I said, we share the same culture. So when there's a holiday for you, it's a holiday for us because we're not working and nobody's working. So like 4th of July or Christmas, and we don't celebrate them, but we do share your happiness with you, and we celebrate it as well. But we just don't celebrate the holiday; we celebrate the day off with kids, But we do have 2 holidays that we celebrate every year.
If you want to get candy, airheads are always safe. They don't have gelatin because it's a pork byproduct and they can't have it. And the little kids, they will snatch that candy, they will read it, and some of the kids will just eat it anyway, and then you got to worry about them snitching on each other, and then they fight. So they love candy. You always know when holiday's over because you'll see candy wrappers. Just pick them up. They're happy, but get them candy that doesn't have gelatin in it.
That's Christina. Some of you guys might know her, but yeah, she, like, all the kids come to her house, and she's the snack lady.
So I live across the street from Sakina. I live on Bushmiller, so I live next to them, and I have all the girls that they know that I always have something safe for them to eat. So yeah. Look, I don't want anybody fighting. You don't have it. We all look out for each other. I live next to them. Hi, they just walked in.
So one of the things that I had suggested early on for like culture exchange sort of thing is, and I don't know how, you said you don't have Facebook, correct? Come on, Byron.
good thing.
is to have maybe a separate Facebook group that we could end up posting, like sending those posts over to our community Facebook group if we wanted to. That way people could opt in to the cultural exchange group. But we could do like cooking videos, like we could take turns and you all could show us how to cook one of your favorite Turkish dishes. And
How to cook bread.
and that sort of, where we could do exchange things, or we could sit down, or we can do a Q&A. Like you could host like a Q&A with some of your men, and we could host a Q&A with some of our ladies. And we could just ask questions and let the women from different cultures within the community, because I also know there's a huge Indian population like within our community. So it would give us an opportunity to just across the board have just like an open discussion in those things. And then post, hey, this post is up in the cultural exchange group, and if you want to take a look, here it is. But I think that would be a great opportunity, and then maybe even do things with the kids, like say, hey, this event is coming up for the kids. Like we would love if your kids could join us for this. But that was one of the things that I had thought of early on that we could do to maybe promote.
I was thinking, I have one.
Do they? Has any of them came to the Easter egg hunt before? Any of your guys' kids? They have, haven't they? Yeah.
It's a huge event.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not? Even if I said no, they were gonna go there. So that's good. We share this.
One of the things that I have thrown out a couple times, and I wish that we had a community room that we could rent out for functions like this. I would love to have like an international festival where we could bring in different foods from our community and your community, and we could sample it and explain what it is. And like I said, people always bond over food, but if we could get together like a potluck, what I mean by a potluck, everybody brings a dish from your culture and we could share it and explain it. So something like that would be fun.
Yes, thank you very much for great ideas. And going to festival, me and Ibrahim are a member of Khubur Heights City Hall. We are in a Culture and Diversity Citizen Action Commission program, and we are hosting every year. And this year also, you can mark on your calendar. I will share the flyer with Josh and Walter, so that way they can post it in the Facebook. Exactly, yes. And we're gonna have a multicultural festival in September 13th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's gonna be on YMCA Park, YMCA. The amphitheater, there is at the amphitheater is gonna be there in that stage. So we are bringing many cultures, like you mentioned, ma'am. This is a very diverse community we live in, and we have a lot of different cultures here, and we are inviting all the cultures are welcome with the history, dance, culture, food. I mean, sing everything. So you are more than welcome. Come there. And regarding if you guys like to do just our neighborhood, we can arrange that also. I mean, that's gonna be easy, I think, because I'm the one not gonna be cooking. My wife gonna be cooking. That's gonna be easy for me. You can discuss with the ladies in the Facebook, and of course, this is building up bridges between our community. And on the Eastern hunt, I mean, I do love eggs. I eat every day, so this is no problem for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all like eggs. We eat it every morning. But that's a great idea to make that international meeting, share a dish. I mean, once a month, that would be a great, opportunity event, once a year, But, okay. So, I mean, moving on, I think it was a very successful event. Thanks, Mr. President Byram and Josh. I really appreciate it. And, I mean, it would be nice, it says establishing this quarterly community meetings. I was thinking, the people that are on the board for the Carriage Trails, Facebook page, they do monthly meetings, or if there is something like that going on. If not, if there's no meetings going on, I think it should start. It would be a great idea, every month to just get together, not to spend, 2, 3 hours, maybe just half an hour, and just move along fast. And today it got a little bit longer because we wanted to get to know each other and explain ourselves, but moving on, I mean, it wouldn't take this long. It just get together, give an update, see what's going on, and address your concerns and fix them properly and smoothly, And you guys can pick a date, and at this point, we'll go to question and answers. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead.
One more thing to add. If you want to do this, like let's say quarterly, once in 3 months, once in 4 months, or once in 6 months, we just need to agree into this, and we can set a date and time with Josh and Walter, and Carl, we was talking about earlier before meeting start. Carl, in our next meeting, more people. That's one of the biggest thing, to call more people here from our community, and plus call people from HOA, people from police department, and our council, and address many questions to them directly, and get answers directly from them. And all the questions we was talking about: parks, speeding, bumps, playground, streets, and more. We can address them directly. I think, like Ibrahim said, this is a little bit longer because we are getting known each other. But next time we just gonna, pay attention on unique questions and go on that, and that can be happen a little quicker.
You wanna say something?
Kind of, I guess, going on the Q&A stuff. I just remembered, I had somebody reach out to me about the kids on the scooter, and I think we kind of already addressed this, but this lady, she said specifically, like, kids on the scooters jetting out in the roads and things like that. But I really don't know. I don't really think there's anything we can do other than
me personally, my kids are begging me to buy them a scooter. I am not buying it. Even I know there is some families, our childhood was very poor, even mine. We couldn't afford many things. We didn't have a ball, we didn't have sneakers or nice shoes or pants or scooter or bicycle, or any toys to play. Because of that, some parents are thinking I didn't grow enough like spoiled, I would say, and I want to spoil my kids, and they buying a scooter that speed up to 35 miles per hour. This is too much. It's not a kid toys. I am telling to everybody over here who's sitting, they know everything about me. I am telling to everybody, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Because they're not driving on the sidewalk, they are driving on the street. And they are not stopping. And cars are not stopping. scooters are not stopping. This is someday we're gonna have tragical time.
God forbid.
Here's my thoughts, okay? Hear me out. So when we were kids, and I don't know if it was the same way with you guys, but when we were kids and we rode bikes, there were things at school where they taught you the rules of the road for bicycles. And I'm sorry? Yeah, it was like a safety thing where they taught you if you were going to ride your bike on the road, which was legal, you needed to obey the rules of the road like a car. So you had to, yes, you needed to wear a helmet, you needed to wear knee pads, elbow pads, you needed to stop at the stop signs. And I think that if those things were happening, even with the scooter, like, that would be a different story. Do you agree? Like, if they were wearing safety gear and they were obeying the rules, that it would be better than what it is right now?
I've been stopping with my car, or even when I was walking on the street, I've been stopping all the kids who was driving on a scooter. And sometimes I see 3 of them in one scooter. You know, I mean, 3 of them on scooter, 1 of them on the scooter, 2 of them on the, and it is going fast. I scared. Every time I stopped them telling them, hey, slow down, don't use a street, use a sidewalk, don't do this, don't do this. I mean, it's just not happening. I think this is not, I'm sorry, I think this is our problem. We are guilty because we are buying kids those scooters that can go that fast. This is we are guilty here, not kids.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. What I'm asking is it not just a purchasing problem, but is it a lack of education?
Again, we educate them on everything, but some of them can, can think on many things, even on speeding. I mean, I'm telling everybody, I cut many of speeding cars with my car and yell them and explain them and tell them nicely. I mean, you can stop this.
So they're just not old enough to be responsible.
Yeah, I mean, some of them not gonna do it, some of them they're gonna keep doing it. This is parents' problem. Just don't buy it. If you buy it, take them somewhere else and have them right there, not in the street.
So is there something that, like, if I see one of them in front of my house, I live on Lakeside, like right in the middle, Silver Linden, White Ash, like I live where White Ash and Lakeside meet, so I see these kids all the time right there.
It's like
Is there
highway.
something that you all would like me to do if I'm sitting on my front porch and they're like,
Just tell them, hey, don't speed, use sidewalk. How many kids are failed and they're injured very bad? Parents was crying after they fell and they injured. Why are you crying? Because you push him to do this. You make him to do this. Why are you crying now? What was your mind before you buy that scooter? I mean, I'm very serious and very mad for this, Josh. And I mean,
some people don't realize that you feel the same way as we do. I think that's what some people don't realize that.
I mean, this is unacceptable in my eyes, in my brain. I'm sorry. Don't buy it. Okay, you buy it, take somewhere else, and have them right there.
And the speeding comes back to all this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even Sheila, even if you're gonna explain them, educate them, hey, what the Hamlet, first of all, it's not gonna happen. Stop on the stop sign, it's not gonna happen. Slow down, it's not gonna happen. They wanna go.
Because they're kids. They want to ride.
You give a kid a scooter that goes 35 miles per hour, they're going 35 miles per hour.
Don't buy it. If you do buy it, take him some safe place and have them right there. I don't have you buying it, but don't let them drive in our neighborhood because they're not gonna meet those requirements. People in the car, they're speeding, and kids are speeding. Cars are not stopping in the stop. Scooters not stopping in the stop. That's the problem. Anyone have any questions, ideas, thoughts? Do you guys like to do this quarterly, once a 6 months, once a year?
Always there's progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months. You guys agree for every 6 months? 6 months, okay?
That's once a year.
Raise your hand, 6 months.
Good.
Fast.
Passed. Okay, I think they have something to say.
Yeah. That's
So I came a little bit late, so I didn't hear that. If it's any conversation about the speeding with the car, not with the scooter. So I would say my suggestion is, this is my opinion. If something happened like that, I think we have rules like a license plate. Instead of talking to parents, if it does my kids, you're welcome to just get the license and give it to police officers.
That's what you were saying.
And after the one punishment, I think it's gonna stop them. This has happened to me, okay? I know from my experience. So hopefully we can suggest with the scooters also, we can have some, I'm saying this because I saw one person saying his opinion, which is okay, but I think it's the whole community sharing their own opinions, it's also can help something. Yeah, as a scooters, it's really sadly to hear that, but I think we can suggest something to put the sign, maybe no scooters. And then if it's something happen like that, welcome, call the cops or something, We need to have some kind of regulation. We can discuss this every 6 months and nothing gonna fix, right? So this is my opinion, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yasha. But the way you said, we been through this many times. Pictures, videos, cameras. When you provide to the police department, they don't do it. They don't help. Why? Because they wanna catch it right away. When they see scooter riding in the street, they're not gonna stop him. They're not gonna stop him because that's not illegal. But car, when they're speeding in the car, if police see it physically, catch it on the speed radar or something, then they can do some legal stuff. But if they don't see it, they don't catch it, you, me, the photo, video, anything, we're gonna provide to them, they're gonna say, I'm sorry.
Citizens can write a ticket for any person. If I'm wrong,
No.
citizens have the right.
I mean, you can write a ticket, but it has no bearing.
I understand, but also citizens can arrest that. Also, we have a law too. But I think we have to come with some discussions. I understand what we can have it every 6 months, but it's every 6 months doesn't fix anything. What's the reason to having a meeting every 6 months? Right? Like I said, I put that notice for no scooters. People do have little water lakes, and they put the no fishing. They have a fish on it, but they're not allowed to fish there because he wants it for himself, right? Also, we can put, as a community, we can discuss that. I think there's somehow we can fix that problem instead of having problems like every month. I understand your point too. You're in front of the house. You don't want somebody's fall on your maybe in front of the house or something, can affect that too. So what we can do at this point? So I think this is the option. So as a whole community, we can discuss, put the sign no scooters or the bikes, whatever you guys discuss, and that's it. And after that, we can have some laws, or it's not allowed here. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So tell me.
That's a great ideas to put signs, no scooters. But kids not gonna read them. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. And I understand your point. You're saying doing these meetings, instead of doing these meetings, let's do something else. Okay, we already start this meeting to resolve and slow this problems. How? On next hour meeting, like we mentioned earlier, we're gonna call people from HOA, we hope, police department, even fire department, city, council, and these questions, and maybe more by that time, we're gonna address it directly to them. So that way we can get answers from them. Because everything we talk here about safety, regulations, laws, many of them address it to the right places. Police department, HOA, and the city hall. It's already been addressed. Because you came a little bit, later, you miss all this, and that's why I'm telling you that whatever you're saying, it's right, but it's already been addressed to them. I've been running for to get signatures for the park. Shiva and others was running for the city, bringing up, begging them to get some place for the playground, pool, park, and more. But it will be, I think what we did just now, even though not many members, I think this is already something. We start building a house, we start with the first brick. If you're not gonna put first brick, you can't start the house.
Yeah.
We already start something. Of course, anyone have many questions, even people who's looking us on the camera, they have a lot of questions. But this is gonna be slowing down when we get together. And we're gonna put all the questions in the table and start resolving. I think that's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think this is well overdue. I've had, one of the guys is Mirza. Oh, is it okay?
It's strong.
Oh, there he is, right there. Yeah, he had brought this to my attention years ago. And, it's well overdue that we need to all get together and help each other out and be a community.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Cindy.
I just wanted to say thank you for having this and having us here and hosting the event and giving us refreshments and everything. This was something that was long overdue, and I've learned a lot here. And I think that us working all together for the community, for the greater good, for the safety of our kids is awesome. And any way that I can help at any time, I will be there. So thank you very much. And thank you, everybody.
I too would like to say that knowing the history helps us to know where you've come from. And I want you to know that I have a neighbor that has come to me with a translator on her phone. and asked to take pears off of the tree in my backyard because she didn't speak English. I want you to know that I'm a safe space, okay? If you see me, if you're out in the store, if somebody's harassing you, somebody's bothering your kids, I don't care. Come to me, all right? I'm a safe space for you guys in the neighborhood and the community.
Yes, thank you very much. I was going to say something and I kind of forget.
Thank you.
I forget.
Yeah, I think we all good.
All good?
Yeah, everybody good? Wolf, you got anything? You gonna add to this? All right.
Thanks for everyone that came. Really appreciate it. Hopefully next time we get more people.
Yeah, hopefully next time. I did end up recording this meeting here, so I will be putting it on the Facebook page. And then hopefully, next time we get more people.
Yes, 1 second, son. I was going to say something for next one. So then people gonna see this video. You're gonna explain to your neighbors, and from now on, let's start knocking our neighbors' doors. And even it's on the Facebook, still tell them, hey, it's meeting coming up. Let's go to the meeting, or stuff like this. I mean, let's talk more with our neighbors, with our community. So that way, we're not separating each other. We are not, let's break those walls, start bridges. I would like to give a microphone to our coach Sam. He's our coach from CrossFit.
Before I forget, like you, I wanna say a short video I saw the other day about Navy SEAL Colonel giving a speech to Navy SEAL graduates, and all this thing come to that point. He said, fixing the country starting from you, starting in the morning, fixing your bed first, then country. So all these problems with kids speeding, scooters and all that stuff, let's start from our own houses first. And then we can worry about neighbors and stuff. Let's start from your house, from your kids first. Thank you.
Thank you. Great point.
Oh yeah, I did want to say something.
Brother Tariq, you want to say something?
Hey, I got one more thing. So I go to the gym, might not look like it, but I go. Sam's actually one of my coaches.
Oh, yeah.
I've known these guys for years now, and they've been great. They've always
more than me.
you'll get there. No, but I just want to say, they've been great to me. My family, we're like family to them, and likewise. So appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sorry it took a little bit time, but I think everybody's okay. You guys okay? No problem?
Good start.
Good
hold on,
start.
over here.
Oh, no, I didn't forget. Believe me, I didn't forget. And we like to say thank you for everybody for coming. And we have our I call group. Proud. I mean, I know this word. It's our Turkish proud man. Pride man. Please stand up. Yeah. His name is Farid Usmanov, and he's 5 times arm wrestling champion, world champion. 5 times arm wrestling world champion. So thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Please go home, drive safely. Please take some food with you. We have water, watermelon, candies. Please help yourself and grab something to go. And we will let you know for next our event. Thank you. Oh! Let's one group dance.